Namaste one and all. Today I came with a small video regarding D-SIB small s, Dsibs. You all know the importance of Dsibs. Dsibs is a full form, Domestic Systematically Important Banks. Domestic Systematically Important Banks. On December 28, 2023, R.B.I releases 2023 list of domestic systematically important banks. Prior to going for explaining about the list of D-SIBs and the changes, I want to explain you about the some background of this D-SIBs. The Reserve Bank had issued the framework for dealing with domestic systematically important banks, D-SIBs, on July 22, 2014. The D-SIB framework requires the Reserve Bank to disclose the names of banks designated as D-SIBs starting from 2015 and place these banks in appropriate buckets depending upon their systemic importance scores, SIS small s. Based on the bucket in which a D-SIB is placed, an additional common equity requirement has to be applied to it. In case of foreign bank having a branch presence in India is a G-SIB. G-SIB means Global Systematically Important Bank. It has to maintain additional CET1 capital surcharge in India as applicable to it as a G-SIB. G-SIB means Global Systemically Important Bank. Proportionate to its risk-weighted assets, RWAS, in India, that is additional CET1 buffer prescribed by the home regulator, of course, amount multiplied by India RWA as per consolidated global group books divided by total consolidated global group RWA. The Reserve Bank had announced SBI and ICICI Bank as D-SIBs in 2015 and 2016. Based on data collected from banks as on March 31, 2017, HDFC Bank was also classified as a D-SIB along with SBI and ICICI Bank. The current update is based on the data collected from banks as on March 31, 2023 and factoring in the increased systemic importance of HDFC Bank post the merger of erstwhile HDFC Limited into HDFC Bank on July 1, 2023. Presently, now on 28th December 2023, R.B.I releases the list of D-SIBs. SBI, HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank continue to be identified as domestic systemically important banks, D-SIBs. While ICICI Bank continues to be in the same bucketing structure as last year, SBI and HDFC Bank move to higher buckets. SBI shifts from bucket 3 to bucket 4 and HDFC Bank shifts from bucket 1 to bucket 2. For SBI and HDFC Bank, the higher D-SIB buffer requirements on account of the bucket increase will be effective from April 1, 2025. This is most important. These new common equity tier 1 requirements will be from April 1, 2025. The additional common equity tier 1 requirement will be in addition to the capital conservation buffer. The list of DICBs is as follows. State Bank of India, already I told it is in bucket 4. and additional common equity tier 1 requirement as a percentage of risk weighted assets is 0.80%, whereas HDFC Bank, which is in bucket 2, the requirement of additional common equity tier 1 as a percentage of risk weighted assets is 0.40%. Of course, ICICI Bank, it is in the same bucket, that bucket number is 1, and additional common equity tier 1 requirement as a percentage of risk weighted assets is 0.20%. The higher D-SIB surcharge for SBI and HDFC Bank will be applicable from April 1, 2025. Hence, up to March 31, 2025, the D-SIB surcharge applicable to SBI and HDFC Bank will be 0.60% and 0.20% respectively. So, up to March 31, 2025, 0.20% is less than whatever required from April 1, 2025. This is the regarding D-SIBs, domestic systemically important banks. And in my second part of D-SIBs, I will explain you about the latest changes related to D-SIBs classification and all. Further, in terms of the framework, the assessment methodology for assessing the systemic importance of banks and identification of the D-SIBs is required to be reviewed on a periodic basis. Usually, so far it is every year, annually, the identification of D-SIBs and disclosing the names of the banks is being done. Now, accordingly, a review of the assessment methodology has been carried out, taking into consideration of the functioning of the framework since its introduction, international developments in the field of systemic risk measurement, and the experience of other countries in implementing of the D-SIB framework. Based on the review, while there is no change in the selected indicators or their respective weights, the bank has decided to effect the following revisions to the methodology. Number 1, payments sub-indicator under substitutability indicator. The data requirement under this sub-indicator stands revised from payments made in INR using RTGS and NEFT systems to total value of digital payments made in INR, that is 75% weightage. Please note down, this is change is revised to from payments made in INR using RTGS and NEFT systems to total value of digital payments made in INR, that is 75% weightage, and total volume of digital payments made in INR, 25% weightage. So, instead of payments made in INR using RTGS and NEFT system, now it is revised payments sub-indicator under substitutability indicator to total value of digital payments made in INR and total volume of digital payments made in INR. So, value is 75% weightage and volume is 25% weightage. So, you are able to understand the change. And timeline for annual assessment and disclosures. The computation of systemic importance scores based on the end March data of all the banks in the sample will be performed annually in the months of August to October, and names of the banks classified as D-SIBs will be disclosed in the month of November every year. So, all the parameters will be taken as on March in the month of August to October and will be disclosed by Reserve Bank of India in November, in the month of November every year. Accordingly, banks will be required to be in readiness to submit the required data to R.B.I by August 15th of each year, and every year banks should report the important data to Reserve Bank of India by August 15th every year. In turn, R.B.I will announce by November every year, in the month of November. Other modifications in the data requirements, the major revisions in this regard includes for a total marketable securities issued by the bank under interconnectedness indicator, the value of securities reported under this head shall be based on their market value. Market value is most important. Next, for securities in held for trading HFT and available for sale AFS categories under complexity indicator, the subset of securities held in these categories that meet the definition of level 1 and level 2 assets with applicable haircuts as defined in the Basel III liquidity coverage ratio LCR guidelines shall be deducted. Third one, for securities financing transactions SFTs and over-the-counter OTC derivatives reported within intra-financial assets and intra-financial liabilities under interconnectedness indicator where effective bilateral netting contracts as specified in the Basel III capital adequacy guidelines are in place, banks may report such transactions on a net basis. That is important. And also, of course, the revised methodology is applicable starting from the assessment exercise for the year 2024. So, from this year 2024 onwards, all banks should submit their data by August 15th to R.B.I regarding D-SIB. And in the month of November, the Reserve Bank of India will announce the D-SIBs, list of D-SIBs. And I thank you very much for watching this important video and these latest guidelines issued by Reserve Bank of India on August, not on August, it is on 28th December 2023. I thank you very much for watching this video and I request you all please like, share, watch and subscribe our YouTube channel Suvarna Chundi. Moreover, I would like to inform you that our Christian materials for JIB and CIB are very much useful for your sure success for May or June 2024 and please go through our books for getting success in your JIB and CIB exams. Thanking you one and all.